Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Once again, I'm Neff from NASDAQ, that's otherwise known as your friendly neighborhood basement dweller. Don't worry, ma'am, I am from the internet. Today, I gotta talk about this. This is so interesting. I have so many social justice warrior friends. I fall in love with social justice warriors all the time. And, you're not supposed to discriminate. You're never supposed to discriminate. It's discrimination. No, no, no. Ah, man. But it's so funny because all of these social justice warrior women always discriminate against the small people, against the shorties. Why? I guess it's because they're men. Anyways, Tinder tests letting users set a height preference. Now, this is something I didn't see, I didn't notice, I didn't even hear about until well after I was out of the dating community. Man, I used to know some really interesting girls that would go to clubs and stuff like that. And back in the day, everyone thought everyone wanted the man, the strong man. They didn't want the strong man. They didn't want the tall guy either. I don't know how it got to this. I don't know how we got here where women wanting the tall man. So I understand women wanting men who are taller than them for protection reasons, but why is it so sudden? Why now? Because I swear in the 70s they wanted muscle men. In the 60s they wanted muscle men, but these days they want tall men. This is how they'll get gals to pay a subscription. Oh! Yeah, that'll do it. Ladies are legitimately interested in that. Anyways, when we click into it, we see Tinder tests letting users set a height preference. Tinder is leaning into dating app reputation for significant superficiality with launch of a new... let me try that again. Tinder is leaning into dating apps reputation for superficiality with the launch of a new feature that lets paid subscribers add their height preferences to the profiles. Guys, this whole thing's getting gamed. Back in the day, these apps were really good for people. We didn't have the types of problems that we're having now. Plenty of fish got people connected. It just worked. And these days, everything's being gamed. It's kind of like greedflation. Tinder Gold and Premium Tinder Gold and Tinder Premium are two different things. The subscribers in the test group will have access to the feature, but not free users, we're told. In addition, the settings will indicate a preference rather than functioning as a hard filter. The company says that means it won't actually block or exclude profiles, but instead inform recommendations. Okay, so the age ranges, but the height? Seriously, women, I bet the same women who are setting these are also the type to go to Free Palestine movements and who are the types to say that anyone is a female, or is to say that you shouldn't discriminate against anyone unless they're white. Basically, they won't say that part out loud, but that part definitely exists, and we're going to have to be another few years into the Trump run before we admit that. Let's face it. I don't want to say this shit, but let's face it. It wasn't until Trump took over that we realized that the woke stuff had gone too far, and it was only actually working for a small percentage of people. Actually, it turns out it only worked for white women. Even the minorities are giving white women shit for this DEI stuff because when it comes to who's getting what and who's getting more positions, the white women are getting more of these positions, not any of these minimized groups. Oh wait, could that just be because if they're right and the white patriarchy is a thing, then the white patriarchy would probably move first to get the white woman in because they liked whites. Am I having an epiphany here? No, I don't believe the whole thing. Like, legitimately, I don't believe in a white patriarchy. Like, I believe we came from one, but if you have a look at the patriarchy, you're going to find that thing breaks apart pretty quick. And if you're talking about how things were, most people were actually shit on Okay, so there's a ship called the HMS Bounty, and the British were all about, like, in the 1789. Yeah, this is your patriarchy thing. Basically, you had rich people, rich kids that ran thing, and everybody else had to be the sorry people. Now, there was a minority of rich people, so yeah, the rich people were probably white at the time, but there is an overwhelmingly huge amount of people under them who were basically slaves. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe they were more like indentured servitude type thing. Not even that bad, but they had like no rights. Like even after what was it, World War II, General Platoon made a thing you couldn't slap a soldier. Like that was not a thing in the 1700s. So what I'm saying is, ladies, cool your boobs, cool your tits, or let me watch them as they. Because I'd love to watch that. I could watch it all day. You're all wonderful. But it's interesting how the veil kind of comes off a little bit as we see what women are really like. Now, one thing that I want to put at the end of all of this is let's talk about the women now. We act like they are God's gift to man, and they'll make our life perfect, and they are automatically the better sex, the fair sex. They're better people, they're great, and they're all of these wonderful things. No, they're not. They're not. That's like saying all relationships exist off of love. No, they don't. It's survival. If often, like back in the day, it was survival and then love came next. And sometimes if you're lucky enough to find love, you're good. And these days we get everyone walking around acting like it's a religious experience. You find the one you love and the gates of heaven open up and you're all hallelujah, hallelujah. But guys, it ain't that way. Like, I'm sure we know some people that are like that. But anyways, after I get into the mutiny, this mutiny from 17 whatever, I'm finding out that the guys that kicked the captain off the ship, they flew their own way. They got a bunch of they're basically slaves, and then they got a bunch of women too from no, they're foreigners. They're very exact. Tahiti, yeah, Tahiti. 16 men, and then and a bunch of 12 women. 16 men, 12 women. They go away to a certain place, and basically the white men end up with all of them, and the women are fine with it because the men seem to have all the power. I'm sure one or two of them weren't okay with it, but I'm telling you, if you look back throughout history, you're going to find out that women don't always go for love. They go for survival. And, God bless them, because that's a very North American, not Southern, God bless them, by the way. To be very careful with that. Traditions change past the Mason-Dixie line. Anyways, yeah, and one white guy ended up with all of them because everyone ended up killing each other. So what I want to throw down is, guys, can we just admit that white chicks aren't all angels? Like, they legitimately think they're angels. Like, I've had so many white chicks say, "Oh, you don't think I'm an angel?" No, I don't think you're an angel. I think that you have autonomy. I think you have the ability to make a decision. Guess what angels don't have? And you know what? Some angels are freaking jerks. We have this idea of what women are and what angels are, but canonically, no. No, like, don't think about your media. Let's face it, media is basically Hollywood's drug dream about what reality and society is supposed to be like. In canon, what are angels like? They're freaking terrifying. And how do you know that? Because the first damn thing an angel ever says is be not afraid. You want to look into it, or you just want to go with what your heart says? Because that's what the ladies seem to do. And I'm telling you, the heart needs to communicate with the brain. This one, not that one. I mean, that one, we need to communicate with that one sometimes, too. They got a little one of their own, and it's so cute. It's fun to break out at parties. But anyways, I think I've been ranting about enough now. Yeah, this fact that women are all about tall men is really frickin' disgusting. It's disappointing. It shows a fault in our stars. It's a really sobering situation. And we gotta realize, guys, like, there are some good women. There are some good men. But, They're definitely not all looking for a good man. They're looking for someone who can make their life comfortable or protect them, keep them safe, and keep them away from being poor, basically. And there's so many women who stay with men just so they can be happy with them, or be. Sorry, I'm really upset now because I know a situation where a woman broke up with a guy, but she waited until her oldest son moved out, who wasn't his kid. And then the moment he did, she was out, and everyone's like, he was abusive, he was all these bad things. If he was really all that bad, if he was really this horrible guy, why couldn't you have left him when the burden of responsibility to raise that child was solely on you? That guy isn't going to get anything for helping that kid grow up. In fact, he'll probably get negative things. But ladies, if you're listening, this is the stuff that guys have to deal with. And I don't want to say any of this. I wanted, perfection, a perfectly good relationship. But unfortunately, I wasn't rich. I didn't have the money. And man, you work down at the factory, you see plenty of people. If you actually talk to old people about what love is to them, not what love is to you, you find out pretty damn quick that we're overcomplicating this whole damn thing. And it kind of infuriates me and hurts my heart. My next door neighbor was an old lady who told me flat out after her husband died that he was just the only man that came over, Nevin. So he was the one that I married. I resurrect computers just to see what's on them. I've never found anything illegal or dark on there, by the way, by doing that. Everyone's like, oh, computers, oh, what are you going to find on them? Oh, they're with that VHS tapes, too. If someone finds a VHS tape in the woods, they're like, oh, this has got to be something terrifying. Anyways, I fixed the computer up one time, and I looked within it, and I found out this is a computer that came from an old woman, moved on to the granddaughter, and then crashed. I had to throw a new stick of RAM in it, and then I opened it and I found out that this woman had married a man that she met in Europe. She was in Europe. He was there for World War II. She was traveling to Canada. He was going back to Canada. They thought they would go together. The doctor recommended they get married, and they did. And they lived happily freaking after. And I know this because she had a little journal written up in it talking about this, talking about all of this. And that's what it was. That's all that it was. Like, I'm sure they had issues. I'm sure that someone would say he had control issues or, oh, I'm not even touching that. I'm not even getting into that. But this stuff makes me freaking sick. Height preferences. I'm average, by the way. I have no problem with this. But legitimately, I think my damage comes down to this. I had a friend tell me that her friend went out to date a guy, and he lied about how tall he was, and he was about 3 inches short or something like that. Really? 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 I mean, they met on Bumble. It wasn't a hookup app. And then, geez, you get on a hookup app and women still come after you. Yeah, you shouldn't be talking. I got on a hookup app. I was talking about how sexy stuff. And then one lady actually scolded me. I was like, this is a hookup app, right? But I swear to God, there are so many women, they get their titties, and everyone just listens to them and does whatever they say, and they themselves, these women, are not in a real reality because every man they've been talking to has been trying to screw them. And guys, ladies, do you not understand that men will lie to get sex? Men will kill their friends for it. Like, they will lose their friends to get some sexy time. And if you don't know that, I'm sorry, guys. Thanks for listening to me rant a bit. This one really I'm very disillusioned at this age, especially with the TikTok stuff going on. I am really disappointed in TikTok. Anyways, this is it from me, folks. Thanks for listening to me. Have a good one, folks.